Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the channel. sthavock here, celebrating the craziest week I've had because of the timeline video, which is all thanks to each one of and every single one of you. Can't believe how how insane the last 2 days have been. We'll get into the story time about that in a second, but I just want to let you all know I'm doing phenomenal. I'm having the time of my life, and I appreciate each one of you. And if you haven't watched it yet, go check it out. It's kind of my magnum opus at the moment. I put way too much effort into the video. I spent 4 months writing, well, not all 4 months writing, but 4 months writing, editing, recording, re-recording, re-editing, rewriting twice, and then finally got out the version that I'm content with and have posted on YouTube. And we might watch it. We'll see. I don't know what we're gonna do. I'm here for my victory tour, and that's about it. But honestly, none of this would have been possible without every single one of you. Hey, Jonathan, I'm glad you liked it. It was a fun time. It's actually really cool how it came to wrapping the entire thing up. It was a lot of fun, and I am so glad that you liked it. It was so much work, but it was so well done. I can't wait to show you guys off. If you haven't yet, I mentioned it literally in like the last 30 seconds of the video that the timeline that I used is actually available for everyone to go check out and mess around with and have, like, mess around, go see what all of the individual lore stories are. For example, we'll get to it in a minute, but one of the things you can do is go find out all my justifications for the reasons that I did certain things. Not just justifications, but like the individual lore stories, which once again, none of this, let's just get a few things out of the way at the start while we're waiting for people to trickle in. None of this would have been possible without legendarystories.net. So Nathan, I know you're probably not watching this, you might be in bed, but I want you to know that this would not have been possible without you. And because of that, I owe so much to what you do. And if you don't know who that is, legendarystories.net is the free online lore hub for Flesh and Blood. Obviously, you can get all of the lore articles from the actual official fabtcg.com website, but the main issue with trying to find them on the fabtcg.com website is that they're a little difficult. They have the new lore section in this, and I'll go through all of these links as well, so that way you can actually see what they are. But they're so cool. Like the stuff that Nathan does is amazing. But over on legendarystories.net. Literally without him, I probably wouldn't be able to do any of the content that I do. Being able to have one singular place where you can just go get all the lore information that you need, and then, just audio recorded from there, read it, the stuff that I do before the timeline video, obviously, all thanks to him. Other people I want to shout out to. I want to shout out to the Fab content creator community, specifically William from the Table Pit. He helped me out on a lot of talking me down from some ideas and getting some actual ideas done. Really helped me out in the last minute. Flesh and Bad, both Tegan and Aurora. I appreciate both of them. They both helped me out, specifically when I was editing, learning how to make things move on the map while also having them do the individual small things. That was all of them, and I can't thank them enough. And then finally, BIOS Update, who was also there. No, I'm kidding. BIOS Update, I also appreciate, literally has reached out to me, kept me going, because they messaged me saying that one of their locals really appreciated the work that I was doing for the lore community and the narration work, and wanted to let me know I was doing a good job. So just keep my spirits high and everything else like that. Opus Arts, one of my best friends, can't thank them enough. Team Dayton, the entirety of us, they got to be my soundboard for a lot of this. And then obviously my locals who support me in the best way they can. And everyone, and all of you for watching. It was phenomenal. And I'm so happy it came out the way it did. I'm so happy that my month of work was not to waste. I guess the other person I should probably be shouting out to is Edwin at LSS for helping answering a few questions of mine about specific dates on the lore, how certain things lined up. Edwin, sorry, I almost said Nathan again. Edwin really helped. Mitch, how's it going, buddy? It's late over there. What are you doing? What are you doing, buddy? I'm just doing a big thank you to everyone while we're waiting for people to trickle in. I can't believe how well this video that I had for months and months was received by the community. I'm sitting on the highest high because of all of you. So where did this video idea come from? Well, it's the most obvious thing ever. For those of you who don't know me, for some odd reason or not, or my story more like, is I'm St. Havoc, first and foremost. Welcome to the channel. I am a huge lore nerd. When I started playing World of Warcraft, I got into World of Warcraft only because of the story. I eventually did some raiding, but like I'm not very good at raiding. I think I never did anything like above heroic. I did heroic once or twice a few times, but most of it was just the story and it was trying to tell. So one of my biggest inspirations for the channel is actually Noble 87, who is a World of Warcraft lore nerd. Obviously Badavid is another big inspiration. Bunch of lore content creators that I really like. And then when I got into Flesh and Blood, I was super excited because I was thinking of all the ones that used to do it for Magic. Ristic Studies kind of, Ristic Studies does do lore, but stuff like that. And I was looking around for Flesh and Blood at the time. This was early on. This was crew days, so Crucible of War, so really first year of the game's full release. I watched your vid after a long time avoiding Fab lore because of its reputation for being bad. How do you think LSS could improve the marketing for their lore? That's very interesting. Yes, it does have a little bit of a reputation for being bad, and I would like to say, I think the reputation isn't that it's bad. I think it's incomplete. They definitely should spend a little more effort. I mean, they've been doing a great job lately. The stuff they put out with the Arathiel trailer, obviously, I mean, you start the Shadow Throne by that. Even Omens, I mean, Omens was kind of a miss, and we can talk about that in a little bit. We got one really good story and one really bad story. But personally, I've always seen it, and Pseudo, I see you. I'm not ignoring you. I promise. I'll say hi in a second. Burst. But I think there is a reputation for it being bad, but that's because I think they're going about it a different way, where they definitely have an overarching story and what they want. And yes, it definitely has changed. For example, they've definitely put in a lot more effort lately. The first few years were fantastic. We got some really unique lore, but a lot of it does seem to be very similar to other lore. There's nothing holistically unique yet. I think the stuff that they're doing with the Savage Lands is very cool, especially if you subscribe to my headcanon, which is the Brutes are actually kidnapping children from Solana to bring them into the Savage Lands to create more Brutes, because Brute is a condition. We'll get to that. We will actually get to that in a second. I promise that actually is relevant to something I'm going to say later. But I think from a point of view, the marketing that they need to do from LSS is we need more actual like full-on stories. I want like a full-on like chapters. I want like what Magic used to do with their set releases, where they would have multiple writers from all walks of life, all different experiences coming in and writing their stories. Some were hits, some were misses, but it fleshed out a world. Keep fleshing it out. They need to be adding more color, more context, more everything to just the world that they have built, because they built a rich lore. It's all under the surface. Think of it like it's almost like Dark Souls, and where you have to go hunting for the lore, where it's not set out in front of you. And I don't hate that, and I think there is a point for that, but at the same time, we need something like this video that I just released that starts out at a baseline. I hope that answers your question, Scribble Nibble. Scrib nibble. My bad. I said scribble nibble. But I that is my honest opinion at the moment about where the lore is. I really like it. Okay. Pseudo, great seeing ya. Burst, yes, it is a weekday, so I can wear a tie. Don't yell at me. I don't need that. Mitch, finished a run in Darkest Dungeon 2. I want to end the game for the first time with 4 heroes without any of them dying. I love Darkest Dungeon. Actually, Mitch, did you see the video? I don't know if you know who the Dark Clipper, oh my god. I'll put a post in Discord, but someone did a Nuzlocke of the hardest difficulty on Darkest Dungeon 1 and uploaded an hour and 40-minute video last night, and it is so good. It is so good. Care to speak on the deathmatch arena? Like I said, we'll get to that in a second. Scrib, thank you for your answer. Your video convinced me to go hunt down more of the lore for yourself. And that's the thing. It might not be for everyone. That's the great part about the game itself. It's phenomenal, and I will always swear by the game. If the lore is not for you because you just want to play the game, that's fine. But if you want to get into the game, I think the lore is a great way to learn about Mitch, I don't think we're going to get that for many years, if ever, because one of the greatest things about this game that we have going for it is the fact that you can really connect yourself with a single hero. And that's also one of the sad things, is because when your hero LLs or your hero's not good, it kind of feels like you're not good or your hero is LLing. Like right now, I'm going through that with Mario. I've gone through it with Lexi. You know, I've gone through it with many heroes. But the cool thing is like if you ever, there's so many heroes where they introduce so much more unique takes on the game, unique takes on gameplay, and unique takes on the lore that you can just go in, find the one that you connect with, both by art, by gameplay, and then finally by story. And sometimes it can be in the reverse order. So I think it's a unique situation where the lore needs to really be fleshed out a lot more. Not that it's not, and I want to say I'm not trying to critique the lore. I love the lore, obviously. Otherwise, I wouldn't have spent 4 months writing the video that I just wrote. But I love it. I love the game, and I think it's fantastic. So let's go. Pseudo, I really want to bring in that topic you just said. So real fast, if I assume at this point everyone here has seen the video, or at least some of the video, I want you all to know, because I know that I put this in the last 30 seconds, and I should have put it in the first minute because I'm an idiot. I wrote a webpage that is that timeline. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. This is on my personal GitHub. It's just I will post a link in the description of this video when I'm done. This is an interactive timeline. What does that mean? This is my entire video. Haha, burst. Actually, if you don't know. So this is my interactive timeline. You can see all these export video buttons. When you saw the timeline going across the screen in the video. By the way, the video, in case you didn't know, was my entire breakdown of Flesh and Blood lore. It is currently on YouTube. It is 28 minutes long. Go watch it. I'm probably going to spend the majority of today talking about that and the content in that video. We might break down certain parts. So this is an actual interactive webpage. You can see where I have all of these exported world events. If you want that for yourself, you can totally export these, take them for yourself, make your own video with it. I don't care. This is for you. The idea was, and I do have one UI quip I have to say about that. This thing is, it's not the most intuitive when you first look at it. Because I should have had a flashing image, and I might get that in later. So when you log in, these two show set icons, show heroes, show world events. So how does this break down? The first thing we see are the individual, I'm going to call them era changes. Age changes technically. So we have our first age, the second age, the third age, the fourth age, and then this technically not a fifth age, but it's the War of Solana. That's when the events of Flesh and Blood actually happen. Then we can turn on world events. Here we have all of the world events that happen throughout the game. With a few sources. Some of them I need to go through and add more sources. I only really added a source to one of them at the moment. But most of them have links to legendary stories. So what you can do on this, and this is really cool, is if you hover over one of these, you'll see a URL link underneath. And if you click on it, it will take you to the exact location where I got the information that I believe best represents that event in the Flesh and Blood canon. So, for example, Ikaru founded was 400 years before the War of the Ancients. Where did I get this? Well, it's in Mysteria, Prestigious Households, Ikaru. And if you read that, it says founded by mysterious Ikaru 400 years prior. Prior to what? Well, I believe we're tied to the actual War of the Ancients when the falling. I have been waiting for this for a while. Haven't spent the time to sit down and read through it all on Legendary Stories. Dude, first of all, this is Legendary Stories. So this is the website I was talking about. Thank you, Jonathan. This is the greatest source of flesh and blood lore outside of FabTCG homepage, but it is even better organized here, in my opinion. And I'm so... First, let's just give Nathan a big round of applause and super congratulations on getting not his only, wow, that was about to be very rude, his first, yes, it's better than the book, and I'll even explain that, Mitch. His first ever preview. I'm so excited, couldn't have happened to a better person. So the reason this is better than the book is, and let me get my book so I can talk about this. So this book is 90%, actually I don't even know if you can hear me from there. So this book is 90% retconned. Most of the information in this book has been retconned for the modern ages, and that does actually bring a few issues to my timeline. For example, one of the things that was retconned is the first opening text of the book. So if we go to archive here, which is where, once again, he has archived all of the information that has been done right here. So my entire opening line, and now I did this for narrative purposes, and I've done some other things for narrative purposes. We're going to have a few laughs at those in a second. This line right here: long ago, humans arrived on the shores of Wraith from a distant land, seeking a place to build their homes. This is all, most of the archive here, most of all this information comes from this book for the most part, including what I think is one of the most unique things Fab has ever done, which is the section on the Savage Lands. I'm going to show this to the screen right now, where they wrote it like a journal entry. So where I wrote Scarbrow's adventure into the Savage Lands, that's technically no longer canon, but it just works so well narratively, I kept it in. So there is that caveat. This is just so cool because, like, you go to Bestiary and you get these beautiful hand-drawn images of beasts, which is why I can't wait for us to do a Savage Land set. That's going to be amazing. We're going to get such cool art in that, such like dinosaurs and stuff like that. The new Mastery Pack Warrior, the board game version. What that's, you know what it's called. The board game version has one of the creatures from the Savage Lands. And we're going to get to this section right here, Mitch, I promise. So let's talk about this since I've already distracted from this. This is the one thing that they have changed recently. Not Chorus of Steel. Chorus of Steel? Oh, that's not how you spell that. Maybe. Yeah, Beastmaster would be such a cool class, like a pseudo ally class that's more focused on like instead it changes out like your weapon and it's like a beast or something like that. That'd be so cool. So let's talk about Deathmatch Arena. Deathmatch Arena does exist in Flesh and Blood canon. Let us get that through our heads. There is a place, it is on the border of the Savage Lands in Solana, right near Volcor, that is the Deathmatch Arena. There is actual lore that happens there. Smash Palace does not. What does this mean? What does this mean for things like heavy hitters? What does this mean for Super Slam? Well, I have no idea what it means for Super Slam if I'm going to be 1,000% honest. But I can tell you the lore that happens in heavy hitters does happen. Kasai does go to the Deathmatch Arena, does fight Kano, KO, wow, does fight KO, does fight Victor, does fight Olympia, does fight Betsy, does fight Reinar. That does happen. That lore is true. What is not true, as to the best of my knowledge, is, yes, Smash Palace is what I mean. Is what I mean, Mitch. Thank you. What is not true to the best of my knowledge is that Dorinthia was there. Or that Bravo was there. The Smash Palace events are not canon. That is what I took from this information that I've been given, is that while there is true lore in there, The Smash Paladin events are non-canon. So this does need to be cleaned up because I do need to re-add the Kasai lore. So who wants to see the really... So you think this is crazy? You think all of this is nothing? What's crazy is this. Every hero, given a few, obviously, I haven't added Dr. Mortimer. I haven't added Malice yet. And if I add Malice, I'm going to add Malice as my headcanon that she existed back during the Donnie Empire. But this is the crazy thing. So I have mapped out to the best of my ability. And obviously, there's a lot of gaps here because I only did this like over the course of a few, like by myself without any external input. Each hero. So what do we have here? We have the start of the hero. Also, yes, if you hover over them, it'll show you the events that they take place in. You have every major event. So, for example, if we go to Huntsman, we have discovered, escapes, assassinates the emperor, returns to the pits, is hunted across Wraith. So you have each individual lore hit. So you'd get Briar, Born, Briar, Leaves, you know, like these type of individual small hits throughout the story. And yes, Enigma and Nu, as far as I know, are the oldest heroes in the game. Then what happens is you have two types of events. You have okay, we don't really know where they are currently because we haven't gotten any modern lore about them recently. And then you have they died. The Emperor is dead, you know. So those are the major ones. But then you have something like this where we have Bolton, which is where Arena dies. So it's like an important person to that character's lore who's not directly mentioned. What I really want to do now is I want to re-go through all of the lore and add all the side characters now that we know that they can become full characters. It's like Mortimer or Hala or God. You know who I would love to see be a hero? It's impossible because he's a head now, is Sutcliffe. And he was also technically a mentor. I mean, Hala was also technically a mentor, so maybe not. But yeah, so this was the entire thing. And like I said, you can click on any of the events, except for one, and we'll get to that. And it will take you to the individual lore story. Themis is, Minerva. Yes, Minerva would also be really cool. Themis is technically one of the angels as well, Pseudo, so you threw me off guard. But Minerva Themis is also another hero. Not a hero, but she's also probably dead. Permadead too, now that we have Chain Death. I want Minerva. I thought we were going to see Minerva come back as like an ally of a Shadow Necromancer. So the one thing, and once again, this is something I did for a narrative point of view. And by the way, this is free. Go have fun with this website. It's on my GitHub. It's in the link to the... Whoa, I did not mean to translate. Has anyone ever seen that before? How did I get rid of that? There we go. Is this. So this is funny, I promise. Volcor has absolutely no lore about his founding. It's the only one that doesn't, by the way. That's why I put it earliest. So let me defend myself. I'll put myself on trial here. I'll swear by the book, the whole book, nothing but the book. So help me, book. What's up, Rose? How are you doing? So Volcor is the only one that doesn't actually have a starting date, mind you, in Flesh and Blood lore. Everything else, we have an approximation of metrics. Obviously, the Pits was not short after. We have the Deathmatch Arena to the T. We have Solana, thanks to also the book, which is also no longer canon. But like, we'll talk about some other things that are no longer canon in a second. We have the Monastery, obviously, very easy to follow. We have all of Aria for the most part. We know when people got there. Mysteria was also very simple to find wins follow because the clans didn't exist before that specific date. So like 90% of how I got all of my dates was I worked backwards from here. So we do know, I will say, now that since I have written the initial pass through and done my rewrites, we know a lot more about the second age that throws a lot of this into turmoil. So I would say for the most part, anything behind the second age is almost without a doubt wrong. Most of this I did, and I will admit this, most of this I did for narration and information like that. Also, the age, the length of the second age is probably also wrong. But we know for a fact Ukaru was founded 400 years. And actually, it's really funny because they did give us an exact date there, and I said they wouldn't have, didn't I? Anyway, so there's just some small things. You listen, you write a 28-minute lore video, and you're going to get some stuff wrong here or there. It happens. But we have an exact date of Ikaru, so I was able to use that and work backwards. Now, how did I get the moon calendar and stuff like that? Well, inside of the Aurora lore from Rosetta, we have information that says that the ancients defended Enion for 70 cycles of the moon. And assuming that we have a normal lunar cycle, that is, I think, 7 years. And so that's how I was able to work back to the founding of Valahai, and how long the actual War of the Ancients actually took. That would be, I have that somewhere. Yeah, here it is. So if we go here and you look up 90 cycles, right here, and we honor the many cycles of the moon, which it means a full transformation of the moon. Yavor defending Enion against the old ones. So that's how we get the exact 7 years. Then, how do we get the 7 dates? That's all from Dorinthia's story, which is still canon, even though the dates technically aren't canon. It's this weird middle ground. So I'm just going to assume the dates are canon. So how about Volcor? I know, I'm teasing this. I'm teasing the source for Volcor. Where did we get the source for Volcor? Well, let me pause the music real fast. Let me pause the music and drum roll, please.
That's a nice argument, Senator. Why don't you back it up with a source?
My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Yes, I made up, and if you can't hear that, essentially it's a meme from Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, which is the meme goes, "That's a nice source, Senator. Well, that's a nice claim, Senator. Why don't you back up with the source?" And the senator goes, "My source is I made it the fuck up." So yeah, so there's no data to support this one event. Everything else is fine. It is really funny. It's the first event on the timeline. So we are just going to say it was funny for the moment and it works narratively. It also might be true that Volcor is the oldest. I don't know per se. So yeah, so please. And I'm just going to actually grab this link, and I don't know why it's trying to... timeline. Oh, that is the actual GitHub page. So let's go to pages, and then let's go to the deployed pages. That's my personal GitHub, y'all. You can all go see the stuff I used to do in school. If anyone wants to visit it, I posted it in chat. Please have fun with it. Please let me know if you see anything wrong with it. Now, I do have one thing we need to talk about right now. There is something I was incredibly wrong about in this video. Early on, I mentioned the Ashoni and the Azu, where I say the Azu kicked out the Ashoni. Then, I believe it was 25 minutes into the video, I say that the Alshoni are now in control. That is wrong. The Azu are still in control. It doesn't automatically flip-flop. That was just me writing it backwards. So I made a correction. There's a correction in the description of the video. That is entirely my fault, and I do apologize about that one small detail. It does happen, and thank you. Thank you very much. Let me go open Discord so that way I can make sure that I'm thanking the right guy. Someone in the official lore video. We will take a look at that in a second. I see that I will take a deeper look in a second. We're going to open this up on stream because someone just asked a very, very important question. So I want to say specifically to the bread C in the official Flesh and Blood Purple lore Discord. Thank you very much for pointing out that incorrection. I do apologize about that. So let's take a look at this. This is interesting. Someone had just said, "Do I recognize this map?" Now, this definitely looks like a section of... My best guess is Savage Lands. And the reason I'd say Savage Lands is because of this drawing right here, which shows a weird flora, which would match with Savage Lands. Now, if we can find this on the map, so let's go to fabtcg.com. And if you want to know where I get most of my information, you go to Realtors. By that I mean images, like the high quality maps I use, marketing assets. So I'm giving you all the deep dive here. Y'all are getting the secrets of the trade. Then you come here and you can find lore assets. Lore assets doesn't have a lot, but it does have this. Yeah, so if I had to guess off of what that looks like, I would assume that that looks like the Savage Lands. Have to guess the Savage Lands. I will give my answer to you personally after stream on why. So yes, so if I had to guess, that is definitely the Savage Lands right there. By the way, I love stuff like this, so if you ever have any lore questions, I do mean it. Reach out to me, ask me questions, and I will do my best to answer it. So that does, I would have to guess that's the Savage Lands. It looks like it's the southern part because this looks like a river coming in. And so that's where I would assume this would be. So that's my best guess. Okay. So that was all of this. I do appreciate all of the insights. And I mean, oh my gosh, this is insane. First of all, thank you all so much. I feel like it was legitimately yesterday, literally right after Vegas, that... Dude, you are good. You are so good. Yeah. So, what am I saying? I'm saying something not important. I totally forget. Correct. We do have the entire western section that's completely unexplored, and I do talk about that directly in the video. The reason for that is just because of the impassable barriers. That is the Savage Lands. Savage Lands are awful. They've got some really morbid lore to them. Not the most morbid lore to them. That goes to, ironically, Osilio. Osilio has some really morbid lore, if you didn't know. I don't think Osilio's creation was justified. I mean, I can understand how in the eyes, and if you want to learn more about that, actually, I do have that video up. That's the Ziggy lore I have on the channel. But I do think that Osilio has some of the most gruesome lore. Or, I don't want to say gruesome, but pretty bad. Yeah, so we are just going to jump right into Talishar. If you have questions about the video, questions about lore, please ask. I will do my best to answer them. Without further ado, we're just gonna play some Mario. I wish that I could still put in like on stream on here or something. Classic stream. Yeah, it's hella grim. All right. We're going to give Mario a few games. Sorry, just checking my phone. Okay, so Rose, Osilio is the Constella Intelligence. Man, Sam, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, no, I mean, thank you. I appreciate all the support and passing the video around yourself. But thanks for stopping by. We don't know we actually don't know that. We've never been giving the actual number. I should have gone second. That's fine. We'll equip the boots. And then we will go CNC. Don't want those, actually. We want these. We want these. We want these for the retrieve. The incision. Let me just quickly say, thinking, please bear with me. We'll add this to get around. And then I will bring in 1, 2 traps. It gets +4 and go again, so the traps will be on. And so we will... That's what I'm hoping for, is because we've gotten some interesting lore tidbits in... oh, that's pretty good, actually. We'll start with the dagger for 1. We have gotten a lot in lore tidbits before. Such as the name of Victor's horse, which is personally one of my favorite lore tidbits. But yeah, so Rose, Osilio was made by killing multiple people, specifically by literally putting their intelligence into the machine that instantly killed them. So it's kind of very morbid how that happened. It's also really, really cool. It can be both, you know? It's a unique thing, and the reason that they did it was because they were so sure humanity was just dead, that there was no luck for humanity afterwards, that they just said, okay, we will just do what we need to do to make sure that something exists to keep humanity, I mean Raven folk, not humanity, to keep a record of our history. Ooh, that's not good. We could go 2, 4. We could block 6 here, go here, swing Calicera. We could also block 2, turn into Spinneret, play discard Arsenal, which isn't that bad. Yeah, what's going on there? That's weird, Mitch. I don't know why that... It's literally just there's the ever smallest amount. Block 6, equip. Go here, take 4, lose this. Yeah, that's fine. All right, well, we have a workaround anyway. We just change. We pivot. If this is pummel, though. I just thought about this. This could be pummel. But Osilio's lore is not all what's the term? Like something in roses, whatever it is. Fields of flowers. And then we'll go Orb Weaver Spinneret, pitching that. We're gonna keep the Kiss of Death here because I'd rather have it for Arsenal since they're gonna remain marked. And this way I can go Stains into Scar Tissue. Sorry, I said pseudo. I meant Raven, or as in Rathen. It's the way that in Ziggy's lore they call the people who live in Wraith, Raven folk, not Raven folk. The followers of Raven are La Apocalypta. Hey, that's why we keep it, y'all. For bottom of the deck and creates a Ponder token. So we will go 4, 5, 6, 7. We could 4, 5, 6. That leaves 1. So we would have to do... Yes, Raven. Exactly. So this will push it down to 5. Unfortunately, I still need to... I mean, this does filter it out. And then I can just put the Shelter from the Storm on the bottom of my deck. And I still have Kiss of Death in Arsenal, which isn't that bad. Gives me a Ponder, which helps me prolong the Shelter. Actually, yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad. We're going to do that. Go ahead and take that. And this way, if I draw a really good Go Again or Dagger effect, I can actually combo it with the Faendal Spring Tunic. Yeah, so Osilio, well, we got that name specifically from the lore for Osilio. And 4 on 4, pass. Then we will go ahead and pump. We'll make them have a secondary one. We get the hit, it seems. Perfect. Perfect. We're getting there. It's working. Why does that sound so slow? I mean, I know why it does, but like It's because my audio for the computer is so low, so I need to actually shift some things around eventually. Then we're going to do... We can do Tunic. I mean, honestly, Tunic into Clave is probably the right choice here, because Tunic into Clave means they have to block it or they get marked. Obviously, they have... they're prepping the Lightning Grooves first. God, I love this song. I'm sorry. I know you hear this song once a stream, but the song slaps. The song makes me think. This song is so good. This is a Cuphead. Okay. I will gladly take a shelter from the arsenal. Pass back. Why did they not play that on the Clave? I don't know for sure. Can't really do anything against that. Arsenal, the free source of go again, and okay, not a bad hand actually, because then I can go. Unfortunately, no easy way to mark. 5, we are going to take the 5. Pain in the backside. We have the easiest pitch card in the world right now. 2 protection, 4 protection. Okay. We did forget to... Yes, Pseudo. We did forget to flick Kiss of Death. I am just that bad at this game sometimes. We are going to do up Sticks at a run, and then we will go ahead and swing Clave to try and get the mark here, because they are on Protect the Queen. Okay, so D-react here? Okay, no D-react, which means I get the mark. Wow, that's impressive. So they must have the combo piece in their hand then. Stardust Spike, so never mind. I will always take that. By the way, thank you very much for everyone for being here and supporting the video. It really means the world to me. I did top 8 of calling. How that happened, I don't know. Oh, they are getting so much field presence right now. Okay, so this is a easy block 3, take 2, send dagger. Sorry. No wonder they're not keeping the arsenal. So we can do send 1 into flick into... we could also do block 3, take 5, send 1 into flick, into 4. That's not bad. Oh, my favorite character? It's Arachne. It's Arachne. It's always been Arachne. Since they came out. Yeah, we'll get Malice lore. We'll get Malice lore. I will answer all 3 of those questions in a second. 1 second, y'all. So we are going to go here, pitching that. Flick the Clave. Why are we flicking the Clave? Well, it's to eat one of those delicious wards that you have into a Stains of the Rack. Yeah, all of them. No. 14, 13, obviously. Retrieve and equip. Yes, I would like to equip a dagger, please, and I'd like to make it the one that actually logically makes sense. Actually, I just need Malice. Hey, don't put Malice in your heart. Or do. That Malice, yes. But Malice in general, don't put that into your heart. Nah, I'm stoked for Malice as well. My personal headcanon of Malice is currently she's hundreds of years old and from the Donnie Empire, but I don't have evidence of that. It's just that her power makes me think of the necrophage that destroyed the Donnie Empire. So, okay, and we'll take the overcrowded. You know what I'm not doing here? is ever playing a Codex of Frailty when you have something on the not in your arsenal. Okay, game. I see ya. How black is my soul? So I think for us so currently, before we get a Donnie set, and the thing about a Donnie set is the Donnie set would have to be a time travel set specifically. Before we get a Donnie set, there are 2 locations in Wraith that we have never had a standalone set for. I will give brownie points to whoever can answer me what those 2 locations are. Nope, we've been to metrics. Mitch, we've been to metrics. We got what's the mechanologist only set? Actually, oh wow, wait, am I wrong? Technically I'm not wrong, but we've been to metrics. We have been to metrics. No, we have not been. No, technically. And the only reason it's technically is because of Benji. The pits would have been Outsiders. Outsiders was almost solely the pits. Isenloft is not one of the main areas. The area Isenloft is connected to is Aria. Therefore, it is not. Yes, Bright Lights is what I mean. But, you got one of them. I did mean Bright Lights, Mitch. Yes, I did. So, Dot, you are 100% right on one of them. You fell for the oldest trap in the book, my friend. Now we have technically, with Usurp the Shadow Throne, we have technically been to the Demonastery. So it is not the Demonastery, unfortunately. Now, technically that set takes place in Irathiel, sure, but it's the Shadow set, and the Shadow comes from the Monastery, and all the people that we are playing are members of the Monastery, and it's the invasion of the Monastery again into Wraith. So, yeah, I'm being a little cheeky here, but like, no. The other one is actually, I'll give everyone, since we have it all, Hole in the Ocean above the Savage Lands, northwest of the Pits and Metrics. It is not. It's Solana. We've never had a standalone set from Solana. Dust to Dawn involves part of the Demonastery. So, it is not standalone. But I just think that's very interesting if anyone cares to know about that. Let's go ahead and see what's in your hand, shall we? So it's actually Solana that has never gotten the other full standalone set. Monarch was both Demonastery and Solana. Dust to Dawn was both Demonastery. Whoa. Talking too much, going too fast. Was both Demonastery and Solana. So yeah, I think that's kind of very unique. Yes, we will most likely be getting, well, Listen, I can't support your copium too much, but we will most likely be getting a standalone Solana set when they do the light half of this block. All right, and I'm not missing the flick here, y'all. Oh, not bad. And then swing it for 5. Okay, this is actually pretty good. We can go dagger and to hit. Well, it's not going to hit because of that. You know what I can do? I can do pick up the point into Relentless Pursuit, into Mark of the Black Widow, giving it go again with the boots. Into Leave No Witnesses for 4. It's not the best turn. Are you talking about for that? Not Volcor. So technically, there's nothing between Mysteria and Volcor. It is just a strip of land. There is something called where's Chromai from? The Chromatic Caverns, which is where the and Mara knows this way more than me, ironically. Not ironically, because it's a dragon. But there is the Chroma Caverns, which is where the lava of Volcor meets the mist of Mysteria, duh. And because of their meeting, they make this beautiful shimmering grove, which is where in Dromai's lore, when she's questioning herself and what she's doing, she meets doesn't meet anyone. Let me take that back. She sits by the Chroma. She sits in the Chroma Caverns. So that is where I think you're talking about. Guys, free dagger for 2. That literally won't break the mark. Let me go ahead and open that up. Let me open that map back up, y'all. Okay, marketing assets. Dot, we will find out for you, my friend. Okay, so you're not talking about the Chroma Caverns, because this is where I imagine the Chroma Caverns is. Northeast. This area where the cliff is? Because if it's this clip, this is where I imagine Mysteria it starts, and this is where the Sandfolk live, I imagine. Because this makes me think of the Sandfolk. Then we're just going to keep sending the dagger, because this keeps threatening 1. And this is going to pop the Stardust Spike, it seems. And with the Stardust Spike gone, we now threaten your hand. Hell yeah, what a turn! Hey, we got there. Okay, you're talking about the... Oh! I don't know, just a really cool landmass. Let's say good game to my opponent. Yeah, I haven't been playing... if y'all couldn't tell... Yeah, this is just a really cool landmass. I think. Let me check. Let me converse. I don't think there's anything there that's directly important with the lore that's immediately coming to my head. It kind of looks like the area that... No, because I imagine that'd be up here. Because I imagine... So if this is where the Chromatic Caverns are, where the Water of Mysteria meets the Fire of Volcor, then this is technically Mysteria land. So there could be any number of things. I'm just going to say, no idea, but it is a very unique looking landmass. The most important things are here, the Boneyard Graveyard, The deathmatch arena would be here, by the way. This is where I put it. Obviously, Arya isn't as fleshed out, so we don't have like ice in there and everything like that. This map was made when the game came out, which is super cool. So yeah, I think it's just some really cool formations. And now, of course, we also know that the monastery is not actually in the water. It's in the Nebulous Rift now. So I think it's just a cool interpretation. Yep, so we got our Mario game. Let's go. All right, what were the questions I was going to answer? Hold on. What would be an appropriate name for the Solana set? Probably something to do with Soul, obviously. So what was my favorite hero character in the lore that's not... So before lore, like actual hero characters, it was Mortimer, and now we're getting Mortimer. I've just always loved Mortimer. Yeah, so personally, I just think united we stand. No, I think the game is phenomenal. The story is phenomenal. I just can't believe how crazy the video did. It's insane. So we're gonna go with this. We're gonna say good luck, have fun. They want me to go first. They don't run blocks that can do that, so we're gonna take these. We're going to take CNC. We're gonna take greater than, go again, greater than, go again. It's an it's a ninja, so some disruption. And then you don't run those into ninjas, you don't run those. All right, aggro. Let's go! Let's go! I can't wait to play this hero in Atlanta, and I can't wait for Atlanta. I'm so glad I got all my tickets. Sorry for those who couldn't, but I'm so happy to do it, to go. Okay, so I'm going first. Hunter's Clave into Flick into Relentless Pursuit. Free mark. The tooth. Yeah, I think Tooth Pit in the Sea duet. Dot. All right, Dot, I'm looking at the screen for a second. Are you talking about this pit right here? This pit right here. All right, let's see them have the perfect counter to my Flick. They're not running Boots of Omens Ward. That's fine. Top left. Oh, yeah, that's just the Boneyard Graveyard. Dot, that's the Boneyard Graveyard. We have that as a card. Yeah, we've got Visit the Boneyard. I'm 90% sure that's just the Boneyard. Please, please have the shelter. I want you to have the shelter so bad. Oh, no shelter. That's fine. I get to put this on the bottom of my deck anyway. Yeah, that's the Boneyard. I think it's just where... North of the Boneyard... Oh! What is that? Yeah! What is that? It's like a prison. That looks dope. I'm going to investigate that after this game. That is so cool. I need to know what the hell that is. We are going to do an inertia trap. There we go. Okay, not bad. So transform into 3. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out what that is. That is so cool. We're going to block 2 here, choosing... Gee, I wonder. 3. Yeah, what is that? It's kind of cool as hell. I'm racking my brain. Oh, well, that was not meant to happen. I'm racking my brain through like all the cards. East, as far as I can tell. East or southeast? There's no reason why we haven't, that I know of. Honestly, unless the entire coastline is just... Oh, wait, hold on. Is just giant cliff faces, there's no reason. None that I can think of. Unless the water's just very rocky that way. It's a giant Matrixian oil fracking operation. That's true. Actually, the thing is, they don't put that offshore. That's what the Gigadrill elevator is for, Pseudo. That's why the Gigadrill elevator is there. That's it. That's how the pits are formed. It's literally Matrixian fracking. I'm not even kidding. Oh, God. That's not supposed to be like that. Yep, so I'll take 2 damage. That's sad. Just like don't go. Just don't, guys. Just don't. Okay, so we are looking at a retort of discarding this to Spinneret into this. Yeah, so I think what we do is we discard that. Yep, okay, cool. Hey, thanks for whoever just gave me a follow or a subscription. I appreciate that. That is really cool of you. Then we are going to go into this. Amanzing, thank you very much for the subscription. It took me a second to find that. I need to have another. I already have 3 screens. I need a 4th one that just blares whenever. And like one of those screens is only this big. We will say, okay, that's fine by me. So they will take 4. Then we will come in for pain in the backside, which is good. Because then we can save the T-Tox for the most ineffective T-Tox play. Because I don't think they're going to block this. If they didn't block the dagger, they shouldn't block this. Oh, and they conceded. Okay. What? So, did they mean to If there's a chance Arya's flow is ever controlled back to the point where the landmasses converges again, since it's all broken up. Well, we've already kind of seen the landmasses converging in unnatural ways. Not directly within Enion per se, but with obviously the Rosetta rejoining society recently, which has been a massive shift for Arya. I think if we see, and obviously there's still the comet has now been controlled since, I believe, I have to reread the snippet of lore we got for Omens, since we got the Voltic Gem from the comet. So I think the comet no longer flows around. As for the flow itself, I don't think it ever will return to pre-Third Age set time because of the death of the Ancients. Unless for some reason the Ancients get resurrected, I think Arya is forever in a perpetual state of just change. We'll see, though. And also, my headcanon is that the Ancients, is that the Queen of Candlehold killed the Ancients. Also, with the Queen's death, Do we think there's a chance that Davnir comes back? Because the queen was able to resurrect her people, and she did bring the essence of Davnir and her people into herself. So with her death, do you think that the Seed of Tomorrow, which we know is the essence of Davnir, will build a new Davnir? That could be really cool, Dalt. That could be really cool. That could be how we get the flow under control. I think that might be a step in the right direction. Maybe Isen fully starts to melt and Galcia comes out from Isen. Yavor's dead. I don't know how we get Yavor back. Yavor's gone. I think Yavor is just exploded. Yavor exploded. All right, let's take a look at this. I really want to look at this now that this has been pointed out. It makes me think of like an offshore prison. Everything in my mind that I can think of lore-wise. Yeah, that would give us a nice set. That is true, Pseudo. There's nothing that... So, they were. So, there's been a few retcons about the Ancients. Initially, there was Isen, Davnir, and Galcia. Now there's just Galcia. Sorry, I think it was... Yeah. Now there's just Galsin. Sorry. I said Isen, Davnir, and Yavor. Now, Isen doesn't exist anymore as far as I'm aware. The only two that is... Because they retconned all of the Ancients from having 2 elements to just having 1. So now, Galcia is just the... Yeah, Mitch, I want Mysteria to come back too. Galcia is now what Isen was, but literally just ice. Then we have Davnir, which is just earth, and Yavor, who was just lightning. So they essentially just, instead of having dual elements for all of them, they now just have the primary single element, which I think works, and it doesn't really change a lot of fact. I want Mysteria to come back too. I think it'd be really cool if Azuri goes back to Mysteria, which she never would from a lore perspective. Azuri never wants to see, I believe, her father ever again. I think her mother might be alive still as well, but I'm not entirely... I think they might just be happy. I think Azuri's just happy over in the pits. But maybe something will make her go back to Mysteria. It's really interesting because with that, it makes implications that traveling between Mysteria and the rest of the world is not that difficult. We know traveling to Aria is pretty difficult, much less so nowadays, because of the flow breaking up the natural barrier, the mystical barriers that protected Aria. Hey, Pockets! How's it going? I think Azuri getting attention MPA means we won't go back to Mysteria with Azuri specifically. Like I said, I don't think Azuri would ever go back to Mysteria for her character trait. I think it would betray everything we know about her. Unless, like, she gets dragged along forcefully. If we get a Mysteria set, I would love to see New again, but that's because I'm biased. I think I'd be better off without Enigma. I would not want the same 3 heroes. Obviously, it'd have to be another ninja, which is true. Maybe we'd get more Zen lore than him just being there for Enigma and New. It's like Zen, and I know this is the funniest. Yes. Remember the Mist is a really cool callback to her origin. And I know I did it as a joke, kind of, but it really feels like a D&D campaign where you have your character, New, or Enigma on this side, a very important lore beat of your character's campaign, and then you just have your friend there, who's just there. Not even like part of the story, but just kind of exists. And the thing is, he doesn't really have any connection to them either. It's not like he's part of the Immortal Lunar Shrine. He's there because one of his like monk members, if I recall correctly, was lured in by New. He just happens to be there. I don't know, Pseudo. I think the thing is Benji's hero ability is just too strong too. Yes, there are quite a few. We could get Jing. I would love to get Jing. I want Ira's brother. I would love... Fab D&D is basically a party of chaotic neutral murder hobos playing their alignment. Yes. Yes. Yeah, possibly pseudo. Possibly. Instead of Zen, we were supposed to get Benji. That's true. But I feel like Benji with Tigers, where 2 attacks can't be blocked, would just be too strong. In CC, maybe. Who knows? Dot. So in Mysterio, we have a few. We have essentially all of the AUI, which is such a word that I cannot pronounce. However, Dot, that would be cool. However, much like Ira, he would also be 400 years old. We need time travel sets, okay? There's so many cool heroes that are in the past, and I don't want them to bring Ira to them. They could bring Ira to the modern day, and the way that they would go about doing that is literally just by saying, like, okay, you know the sword she has, Autumn's Edge. The sword is cursed. Literally, it is a demonic sword. So when Ira... always scales. Yeah, always scales. Exactly. The sword is cursed, so I think if you wanted to, you could say that that is what's keeping her alive. Or you could go around the new path and make her a not a demonic spirit, but like a vengeful spirit. Totally fair. And you could do the same thing for Jing. We could also get Zing. Well, that's not his name. What's his name? We could get one of her dead parents or brothers as angry spirits, because we don't know per se. Zealin. We could get Zealin as an angry spirit. Yeah, Zealin or Jing. I'd love to get Jing. That would be really, really cool. And what'd be really cool is if we got Jing as a Mysterio Runeblade. Because maybe the last time we saw Ira and Jing, they were teaming together after many years of having spread apart. By the way, so Ira founded the Crimson Scales. Jing founded the always scale. Crimson Haze. Jing found not Jing. Zilin Jing. Jing founded the always Scales, which is really interesting because they are in, even to this day, many centuries later, they are in constant conflict with each other. Even though the last time we saw Ira and Jing, they worked together to essentially settle spirits in their hometown of Akaru, which is the place that fell. So I think those two could be really cool. Other side characters are neither here nor there. Mysterious, what am I talking about? We have Azuri's parents. That could be interesting. Yeah, Mystic Runeblade would make people quit fast. But I'm saying it's possible, like, if they do it in, like, 2 years, if we revisit Mysteria. Mystic Necromancer could be hype. It wouldn't really work, though, lore-wise, as far as I can tell. But I'd love to be proven wrong. What else do we have? I think the coolest side characters, currently... the Ancient Mela. The Ancient Mela is one of the coolest side characters. If you are wondering who the Ancient Mela is, that's a really cool idea, because one of the cool things that we got is this card. Third Eye of the Sphinx. Yes. Okay. I'm writing that down. That's really cool. Okay. So what freaked me out about this when I saw this? So there's a character in Aria currently. Yeah, they could figure out CC Bard, and I would love CC Bard. But so this art, when this came out, made me flip, because the Ancient Mela is mentioned as having multi-eyes and being really old. We've seen the Ancient Mela now twice in the lore. And one of the times we saw them was in Ziggy's lore, 400 years before modern era. So Ancient Mela is probably that character who falls out the window and does not get sucked into the Nebulous Rift when Ziggy splits the Orc Keep away from Wraith and puts it into the Nebulous Rift. But this also matches the description of the Ancient Mela's eyes. And that's so interesting, because it puts two Ancient Melas on the timeline right where I'm saying two events should be occurring. Now, obviously, this is before the necrophage sweeps across Donnie. Yes, I'm 99% sure this takes place in the Donnie Empire. It makes sense. The ability, it is Donnie. It's It's Donnie. It's Donnie. I have evidence for this. If we go to Tropal, and we go to the alt art of this, and we're gonna go back. I have evidence for this. Don't worry. Sorry, Sphinx, not Phoenix. And we go to this, and we open image on new tab, and we look at the buildings in the background. If I had the full art, it'd be better and easier to see. What you see is Egyptian styled awnings with palm trees. If we go to Tropal Donnie, what do we see? Palm trees in Egyptian style. We will not be getting a Donnie set for a while, and I'll say why I think that is. An Egyptian style awnings. There's one more piece of evidence that we have for this making that, and it's in Fiddler's Green. So once again, same Greek style structures. It's underwater. It's way more. Actually, the structure is way more Mesopotamia than Egyptian, which is fair. So that's on me. But you still get that peaceful sanctuary. Yes. Another example of Donnie. So actually, this is thank you, Pseudo. This is actually gives us the closest thing, because it actually has the word Donnie on it. Before it sank beneath the waves, Fiddler's Green was a bright emerald in Donnie's crown. So this all okay, but what if they were hot? This all confirms everything. So between the headdress being similar, the style of architecture with the aqueduct style and the Egyptian and the palm trees, without a doubt. Also, Fiddler's Green being a name is insane. I love that, because Fiddler's Green is actually in maritime mythology. It's the place where sailors who drown go to serve their afterlife in real life. This is a real life thing. If you didn't know that, Fiddler's Green is really cool. Fiddler's Green is just a really cool concept in maritime mythology. I'm going to call it maritime because it's kind of shared across many cultures. It's just something sailors would share, like stories. So like most cultures have their example of Fiddler's Green, but Fiddler's Green is the well, I think it's just the marble and the architecture style. But yes, essentially dot. Yeah. However, if we were to ever get a actual Donnie set, I would want it to be much like Mastery Pack Guardian, where we travel back in time to the peak of the Donnie Empire, and we learn what caused the necrophage there. Maybe we have a reason. Maybe finally the Mela does something very important, and we get the wise Mela Sears as one of the main heroes from that set, like as the priestess or something like that. Yes, thank you, Suda. That was very helpful. I actually did not. I should read more decks, but I've been so. In case y'all couldn't tell, I literally put all of my effort over the last few months into the timeline video. Not much else. So like my skills have been rusted. And then traveling as well. So that's really cool. These are really cool. If you want these are awesome. This is where you can get them. What else? Honestly, I don't know. I'm just gonna play another game. I'm having the time of my life hanging out with all of y'all. Honestly, I love these lore questions. I love just let's do some Sage. Hey, does anyone have a Olympia deck? Sage deck. Let's go find an Olympia Sage deck. I want to play tournament decks. And I want to play a Sage Olympia deck. Zane and Crix. Pseudo, send it to me on Discord. Yeah, you won't be able to send it on YouTube. You'll have to send it to me on Discord. Zane and Crix. First and foremost, I'm gonna say this right now, Dot. Zane, non-canon. Crix, favorite hero design ever? Non-canon. I'm so sorry. Because once again, if we go to the timeline, and I will say this is firsthand information. Deathmatch Arena is non-canon. If I had to guess where they are from, though, I can't say, because this is definitely the Deathmatch Arena. These are humanoid figures, so it's not like... Yeah, so anything from SMP, any of these heroes. So currently, non-canon. Bravo is canon, but his adventures here are non-canon. Cox is canon. Cox is the owner of Deathmatch Arena. We can, like, if we go here and we look up Crix. I guess, oh, canon. Okay, Crix is canon. Crix is canon. So, okay, I take back what I said. Crix is, without a doubt, Decimator. Crix is actually canon. So if I had to guess where Crix is from, obviously I want to say Savage Lands. It doesn't make sense because most things in the Savage Lands are, for example, we have the they're not the Hustlers. What are they called? There's something else. They're similar. So Mansant, I would, yeah, it's Mansant. It's right here, buddy. It's right here. I wish Mansant. I wish that Smash Palace was canon, and I think the fun thing about that is it could make a really fun D&D campaign. Really, really fun. Yes, Cox is the fight master and the owner of the Deathmatch Arena, so I'm pretty sure Cox was the voice in the Super Slam trailer. Yeah, exactly my point, because most things in the Savage Land dot are not corrupted per se, but wild. So, but possibly Volcor? Could be a race on Volcor we just don't know about. You know what else she and they could be? You know what else Crix and the other guy could be? This is, I'm not even kidding. This is gonna sound insane, y'all. Zane and Crix could be Rosetta. Zane and Crix could be Rosetta, y'all. The Rosetta have some of the time animalistic features. It won't make sense for them to have been here for that long because the Rosetta did not break out of Arya, well, did not even break out of Candlehold. I don't think they've extended past Arya except for Briar until recently, but they could be something similar. They could also just be a race that we just don't have the information on. I want more quadrupedal races. I want an adult Crix hero, okay? I think Crix is the coolest design hero of all time. Art-wise. Art-wise. All right. Let's go ahead and put this in Silver Age. Killjoy. This is fun. This is fun. I'm loving this. Killjoy is definitely closer to an orc, which makes me wonder if they are going to be planning on changing, what are they called? Inside of the original book, which I have right here, of course, there is a reference. Hecklers, that's what they're called. I wonder if that's going to be a heckler. The other race that we have a name for right now is, once again, y'all need to read the Ziggy lore. There's so much information in their lore. Fall of Alahai, corrupted. No, what are they called? Wraithen Folk. Here we go. The Chinek. The Chinek are goblins. So if we see any Chinek, that's what they are. Goblins, that's what they are. Let's see if Killjoy shows up in any of the lore. That's fun. I like that. No, not yet. Okay. So if I had to guess, probably whatever the world's version of not orcs, troll. That's what I meant. I didn't mean World of Warcraft troll is what I'm thinking. Kind of similar. I think Killjoy is the same race as the lady on HVY. What is that? Cox is a connect. Cox is a connect. And connects, and this is really funny. Connect. Nope. Where is it? They reminded Ziggy of Chinek, which is green. Where is it? Ziggy references correct. No, actually, I think second, and I'll get to that in a second. The Chinek, the Raven folk with green skin and pointed ears, they had met during their expeditions to the west. Mockeries of their often kind and noble culture. The Chineks we see in modern day are neither kind nor noble. All of the art we've seen is them stealing, tricking, or lying. Which goes to my headcanon that there is, mind you, Ziggy is saying in the East, which means the Savage Lands as we know them today. My theory of why the Savage... Okay, y'all are going to love this. My theory of why the Savage Lands are so vile and twisted and things are changing and why brutes are a condition, not a race, is because an old one died in the Savage Lands, corrupting the land itself. That is why we get twisted creatures, and that's why it's impassable. Because literally, you are fighting against the old ones. We've seen what the corpses of old ones can do. For example, I think that there is a corpse of the old ones in the pits. I think that is when we read about Anarch Zir, another one of my favorite side characters, dead, unfortunately. When he comes back out of the deepest depths of the pits, he has some type of oil on him, and he has a book written in that oil and bile, which now that we have the love, I'm going to call them the love letters between Shane and Vincent. It's not, but it's funny if it is. We know that the old one's bile is a transformative property that can literally turn a being into something else and corrupt it. So even if it's just not even the corpse, but like a body part. Yeah, exactly. Dead hasn't stopped them before. If it's just a body part, if it's just a cut off limb, maybe that's all it needs to be to corrupt the land. And maybe what happened is when they went digging in the pits, they hit the corpse that is deep underground in the Savage Lands. Who knows? But that would be dope. Which would be why the current Chinek are no longer kind and noble. They are now corrupted. However, the other thing is, it would mess up my timeline because I don't think a body can sync, we'll see. Okay, there was something else I really, really, really wanted to cover. Oh, the other race. Okay, where is it? The other one. I think Killjoy... Okay, so far in Flesh and Blood, we have a few races. We have the Chinek. We have elves. They've been mentioned once. Yes, Pseudo, yes. Elves have been mentioned once. I'm going to show you something that looks like an elf, and I don't think it's an elf. Dwarves, obviously. Because dwarves come from, well, they're not from Valahai. I feel like they were forced into Valahai because they're one of the Wraithen folks. So I think elves come from Arya. I don't have evidence of this yet. It's just, is that like fantasy racist? I think maybe. We'll see. Where is that card? What is the Brute card that I'm thinking of? If someone can tell me what the Brute card I'm thinking of, it's the one that flipped me out way back when Heavy Hitters first came out. Okay, it's not in here. What is that card? It's the one with her on it. Therion Donnie's city sank and were wiped by a necrophage. That's true. Atlantis Isle, making Atlantis Egyptian theme ruin in the northwestern ocean of the pits would also contribute to the pits issue. Huh. The only reason I don't think that's right is because Pockets, and this is nothing against that, I think that's a good idea, is the Captain Bones, when he talks about Donnie. Where is it? I swear he gives direct that night, Donnie. Somewhere in here, I swear that they mentioned the exact location of Donnie. And I swear it's to the east. Yeah, in an eastward direction. Yeah. No, that's Golden Goose. Maybe I'm wrong. We were literally just talking about that. I think, are you talking about this pit? Pockets, are you talking? No, I might be wrong about that, but if you're talking about that pit, I have to reread Bones to get an exact answer for you, Pockets, but I'm pretty sure that Donnie is far off onto the east. Maybe the west. But I might be wrong about that. Yeah, we were literally just talking about this. I think Dot pointed this out, and we were just... I had not actually looked at that before. Cast Bones! Thank you, Pseudo! Yes. So... Cast Bones. At first, I thought possibly Elf. Now I'm thinking whatever the heck Killjoy is. No. I'm now thinking of other things. This is all just what I'm going off in my head. I think Killjoy is a drow because I'm not looking closer at the mouth. And the issue is we don't have full arts of these yet, which I can't wait for. The elvish ears, I don't see tusks. So I think Killjoy's probably closer to what we would call a fantasy drow. And then Cast Bones would be like a wood elf. But like a more like natural wood elf from the Savage Lands. So that's what I'm thinking of. So I'm changing everything I've said. Like I said, this is all just thought process. This is just a stream. I'm not writing anything down really much. But yeah, those are all of what I can think of right now. If I'm thinking of any other races I'm missing, I will say them. Sharpened a sword. Correct. I think elves exist in many regions. I think elves are like humans and wraith, travel incredibly far. Okay, so we got those. We'll go. Poison the Tip Ranger would be awesome. That's what it seems like. That is definitely what it seems like. Sharpen the sword. I wish that this was a yellow. Arsenal this. No, because I don't have a gold for free. So I think what we're just going to do is sharpen into swing with the cut and carve. Take the upper hand for when I win a wager. There we go. All right, we got our first gold. Okay, there's other Killjoy art on the assets page. Digital assets, Smash Palace, Chorus of Steel. Okay, I'm taking a look at that right now. Thank you. Thank you, Ethan. Oh, I think it's marketing assets. Okay. Hey, Rose, don't get my hope up. All right, here we go. Oh yeah, that's definitely not a troll. That's definitely like a drow. Soon I'll do my best. I would totally play a drow Scorch. And I definitely, by the way, Ethan, thank you very much. This does help answer that question a lot. So this confirms that this is definitely elf-ish. Yeah, very, very drow looking. I love how I'm trying to like juggle the game and talk about lore. This is the best. This is like the type of stuff that like, oh, son of a gun, because I can't choose a non-equipment card, defending action plays. I can't shove off the absorbent aether because they'll just be able to play it again and it'll amp 2. And I can't boost. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. It is a Drow Pockets. I will admit that I am wrong here. Cindering Foresight. Blaze Fire Mind Trigger. Into Meredith Scolding for 4. Into 5. Into 7. There we go. Okay, that's fine. Okay. We are going to cash in. Yes, I would like to pay the 1. Oh, that's funny. Cut and carve to sharpen. Go ahead and pitch the nip at the heels to go ahead and give 4 dominate. Activate the prize Galia. But then I need them to block with a card from hand. Okay, well, at least I can keep this to 8. Oh, perfect. Perfect. My friend, thank you. Well, the issue is that's 2, so that's going to be higher damage. It is still technically hitting, so we're just going to... Yeah, we're just going to let this hit, and then we're going to take the prize Galia win. And then we're going to move to Arsenal to cash in after whatever arcane spell they send my way. And they are using 5. Oh, God. Oh, no. Oh, no. I don't like that. Well, at least I have... hey, cash in is still good if I have the extra cash in. Oh, God. It's 8. Oh, that is so much damage, y'all. Oh, well. That actually ended up benefiting me. Okay. We were able to... Thank God I didn't send an attack there. Okay, thank God I didn't try and pump that. Gosh. Oh, that's interesting. Let's go ahead and cash in. Okay, let's go ahead and check raise. Let's go ahead and do the big numbies. And then let's break the gold to swing big numbers. Hey! 13. You'll go ahead and Iron Song response here, and then I'm going to 6 on 6. We're going to keep both of these because they're reaction. So races pseudo confirmed. Humans, demons, yes. So humans, demons are a race. We do know that for sure. Chinek, yes. Robot, technically not a race, a creation. Data Doll, Rosetta, yes. Rosetta is a race, yes, Dot. That is true, because technically they are not, as I said, they are no longer human. Elves, whatever Crix is, Orc, Drow. I don't know about Orc. I'm not sure where you're getting Orc from per se, but Drow, which would be just a subcategory of Elf. Wood Elf, subcategory of Elf. Sentient Being, Ocilio, once again, an automata. I would put Ocilio in the same vein as Data Doll, honestly. And then whatever... Riptide is a human. Riptide is a human, by the way. Just straight up human. Oh, is that what happened? Oh my gosh. I was wondering what happened. That's hilarious. I can't. Yeah, we did. Oh my gosh, I won this game and I just whiffed it. Oh my god. Oh my god. I am so silly. I am so distracted. Yes, I want to wager. Why? I was so distracted talking to y'all and pressing space. Oh my gosh, y'all, I can't even with myself sometimes. This is gonna go on a clip. This is just gonna go on. Don't talk lore and play Fab at the same time. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, good game. Wow. GG. Prism is human, but Prism was found, so technically Prism is human. If we want to get my headcanon about it, Prism is also a creation, but being a creation of something like Soul is different than being a creation of something like an Aether Scribe. So I would definitely say that Prism was created as the likeness of a human, which puts her close enough. Just because we don't know her origin. Listen, I wish we got more non-human races. Characters as well. I think the only CC character... Actually, hold on. Outside of robots... Maybe, Dot. Maybe. Outside of robots, Shiana is a human just with the ability to shapeshift. As far as we know. There's been no confirmation about Shiana being anything that's not human. I think shapeshifting is a talent that is given to the Gemini by Soul for the sake of their espionage. I'm trying to think. For Classic Constructed, hold on, let me open this up. I want to take a look at this. I think I just realized something. If so, I might be a little upsetty and spaghetti. We're gonna go through this. Human. Not classic constructed. Human. Was human. Not classic constructed. Human. Not classic constructed. Human. We'll talk about that in a second, Dot. Technically, multiple humans. Once human. Once human. Once human, once human. Human. Human, human, human. Human. Okay, so Briar is Rosetta, and in my headcanon, Rosettas aren't technically human, so that's fair. Human. Human, human, human. Robot. Human. 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 Spirit, but technically was a human. Human, human. Also, technically, I guess Briar, Florian, Verdance were all once human too, because their essence is just a copy of one of Candlehold's citizens' essences before the Third Age. So, not human. And that comes from this beautiful book, but also not classic constructed. So, but that's really funny. Was once human, 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 inhuman, human, 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 human. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about my theory on the brutes, because this is the fun thing. All right, class, settle down. This is going to be easy. What is a brute? A brute is, from what we know now, a condition. What does that mean? I think Genius is a dwarf. Genius is a child, possibly. If you go to find a PDF of this book, and you go to one of the final pages where there's art in it, one of the art sketches, and I'll tell you on the exact page as well, on page 119, and I'm gonna do my best. Let me swap the camera real fast, y'all. Hold on, because this is actually kind of cool. So on page 119. There is this, let's see if I can get this, and then there is this art right here, which shows what looks like an old man in a giant beard, highlighted by a child. So, because of that, I think that was the original inspiration for Genus, and his name is, like, genus, what's his full name? What You Need. That's not a real name. That's not a real name. So in my headcanon, genus has always been a something else. All right, so let's go back to what we are talking about, brutes. So brutes, as we all know, all come from the Savage Land. There's no brutes that are born outside of the Savage Land. Yes, piloted by a child or a small creature. Could be a Chinook. Honestly, could be a Chinook. We don't know. So why am I saying brutes are not under a different classification? I think that the reason why the Savage Lands invade, specifically the brutes, invade Solana lands, is to kidnap children and put them into the eggs that they hatch from to turn them into brutes. Brutes being a condition means that they have to... No, I don't think we did. I don't think brutes existed before the War of the Ancients. We don't have any proof that proves me wrong about that yet. But in my headcanon, it would be because the brutes being a condition stems from the old ones, which would make sense how Levia became a brute, because she became one with an Embra of the old ones and was just eating everything in Irathiel at that point. So it kind of... once again, Embra and Old Ones are not the same. Do not quote me on that. They're different creatures altogether. But in my opinion, brutes were once human. Just as a baby, have no memory of it. It would also explain why they have the ability to learn once they are... No, I can't. I think that's just art decision. I think that's just an art decision, if I'm going to be honest. I think pointed ears look more menacing, and then you put Tough Nut rounded ears, and Tough Nut just looks cute and lovable. I think maybe that's just an art decision. There's nothing I've read that states otherwise. So in my opinion, brutes fall under the once human category. Let us continue. Human, 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 multiple humans, human, possibly human. The Jesus Christ of the setting, because he was made by God. Human, once human. Riptide is a human. Riptide just has pustules on his body. He's just very malformed from his years of working on a ship and the years in the pits. This is just what he looks like after being in the pits for so long. Human, 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 Rosetta, human, 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 human. Sorry, Rosetta, human, but Olin, technically, and I think that Volda was one of the first people to be freed from Ison. Once again, one of my favorite things is we've had two heroes in the lore who appeared out of nowhere and were adopted by their community. One of them was Volda, and the other was Prism. Human, 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 human. So, what am I saying? What am I saying? Hey, guys, come here. Come here. What am I saying? LSS, we have the Rosetta, and I'm happy with that. But please, give us more non-humanoid creatures as heroes. Or even more, like, give us more non-human things I can't justify as humans. Give us elves. Give us dwarves. I can't wait for the Visit Anvilheim set, okay? When we finally go to the Northern Lands, I can't wait for it. We're gonna get dwarves. Oh, wait, no, what am I saying? Wait. Oh my god, I lied. We have one. Half human. Canonically half dwarf. So no. So LSS, you did good. We got one. It's half, but we got one. I just can't wait till we go to the Northern Lands and we go to Anvilheim. I'm excited for the retake Anvilheim set. That's going to be awesome. We're going to get so many dwarves. We're going to get... Gosh, my nose is dry. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm going to have some water. We're going to have dwarves. We're going to have elves. Let's get some more rock monsters. Let's get more Osilios that aren't once human. So I like what they're doing. Pseudo, that is a fantastic question. I do not know the answer to that. The amount of lore yes and no. I'm pretty sure the answer to your question is yes. I think that what they meant by the deathmatch arena not being canon is just the Smash Palace heroes not being canon in the lore, which maybe they'll retcon that even someday. But I'm like 99.9% sure Tough Nut, Lyeth, all of them exist. In fact, I know Lyeth it does exist because there's references to him in, I believe, older lore. So yes, I'm pretty sure Super Slam is canon. It's just we don't have a lot of lore in that set in the first place. It was not a lore focus set. It was just, hey, we're gonna go back to the deathmatch arena for some fun times. Who else do we have? Balgor, obviously not an adult hero, so we're not going to get Balgor as to be one of the non-human sets. Yeah, so that's my thing. I want Crix as an adult hero. I want Zane as an adult hero. I want all of these awesome Tar and elves and non-human classes. Let's get some this is fantasy. Let's get some things outside of the norm. Now, I get it, us being humans, when something we can play is that we see ourselves in. And that's one of the big things about Fab. Let's get a little creative with it, too. We have Ocilio, and that's great. I love Ocilio. So cool to have a 500 foot tall being with just pure intelligence and arcane energy. So cool. What they've done to the Aether Scribes being crystalline beings, awesome. I love it. The Rosetta technically being an entire race differently, and we see a lot of Rosetta with horns. Let's get a Rosetta with horns in CC. Let's get like actual creatures, not humanoid, but non-humans. I love that concept, and that's why I think that's one of the things I like about Arachne. Arachne's human without a doubt. But you would never know that looking at them. They big giant hunch, slippy, wispy aether energy of chaos. I still think it's frustrating that we're having on a CC version of a bard, and now the first alchemist I would have thought we would get is an assassin. Yeah, I also think it would have made more sense for Dr. Mortimer to be a alchemist without a doubt. Give me my tiefling, you cowards. I feel that. It would have made a lot more lore sense for Morty to be, Crest. I like to call him Crest because we're on a first name basis. To have been a alchemist than a assassin, especially since he does give the poxes and cures the poxes. But I feel like Lena Bell, give us Lena Bell. Give us her and Sage. Give us Lena Bell, guys. It's time. She's been in the lore since Arcane. Let's get some of these heroes. We got Morty. Let's get Lena Bell. Yeah. So the other thing is, if we were to take a look solely from the lore standpoint, do you guys know what Azalea's class would have been? That's an interesting question. That'd be cool. I should do a video on who got the wrong class. That would be a fun video. But technically, Azalea is supposed to be an assassin. She's an assassin for the Black Jack Tavern, and legitimately takes contracts and kills people. That's her job. Of course, it makes sense to make her a ranger. She has the bow. That's fine. And ranger is a yes, 1000%. So it is very, very interesting with the way they've been going with the lore and the character design. And I get that you got to be... Now, yes, the book, once again, that's another thing that's in the book. I don't, honestly, at this point, Cleric and Alchemist, I don't think we're going to get. Alchemist is just too assassiny. You've got the potions, we already have the diseases. And then Cleric is just Light Warrior. And with how broken we've seen healing in this game being between Count Your Blessings, Verdance' healing abilities that became second nature, I feel that we just won't see a cleric, and that does sadden me a little bit. All right, I'm going to start wrapping this up. I have been streaming for almost 2 hours, which, as those who watch me know, that's a little bit of a long stream. I feel like I got plenty of stuff that I can clip out of this and make some shorts. So I appreciate all of you talking with me. How does cleric overlap wizard? I don't see cleric overlapping wizard. I'm interested in that dot. Cleric would be a very fatigued deck. Yeah. No, I think Cleric would just be Bolton. So just bad. I think what we'll see in the next set is, obviously the next set will most likely be the light parent set. Ranger is technically, not all Rangers are assassins, but some Rangers are assassins. Technically Riptide is an assassin because Riptide works for Uzuri as one of the members of the Spider. Then that just leaves Azalea, who is obviously an assassin, and then Marlin's not an assassin. She's a monster hunter. Yeah, let me think. Anything else that's cool and I want to consider for the stream? So, let's talk about next content. I will be getting back onto the narration horse, obviously. I have some more ideas. Nothing I think is ever going to peak how well the timeline video did. And I want to thank each one of you for watching it, everyone who helped with the creation of it, and everyone who shared it around. It means the world to me that I did this good. I can't believe how amazing it did. It's amazing. Scorch, I also don't think we're going to get the light set until the end of next year, but I hope that they just do it as like a block set because it'd be really cool to see how that worked. And also, if they wait till next year, it messes with the timeline as well. If you didn't know, what I did for all the sets is essentially I said, okay, 3 sets come out a year essentially. So each set takes place over the course of 0.33%, 0.33 repeating, of course, percent of a year to get 100%. So I just split the years into thirds, and then I just said this set came out here, this set, except for the first 7 sets. I think it would be really cool if they wanted to finish the story. I think it's about time. I'm tired of Solana being on fire for the last 4 years, 3 years, 4 years. Let's get. I think it's time that we take the. So the thing that I think is going to happen is once we're done with Solana, with the Demonastery versus Solana, we're going to need a new big bad end game, right? And they've really been setting that groundwork for a while. So we are, yes. Well, the other thing is, if you've watched till the end of the video, we do have 6 other. It's no longer an isolated incident between Arya and Solana. There are now 6 portals, essentially, omens in the sky that all appear over the land. So that is very interesting. I'm gonna say, oh yeah, the Kingdom Hearts. I'm so excited for that. That's gonna be so fun. Anyway, Macropotent would be one. That'd be really cool. We'd be seeing actually, now that we have the Macropotent joining the Demonastery, since he is Shadow technically. What else? What else is going on in the world of Wraith? The thing that I want us to focus on is L'Apocalypta. I think they've been setting the groundwork for L'Apocalypta since Tidings in the Light. Teklo's grade in modernization project of the Savage Lands. Teklo is a bad guy. He technically, well, Shadow doesn't mean you're evil. Let's just say that right now. Okay, being a Shadow hero does not mean you're evil. The reason they are heroes is because it's in, if we all look in real. If we're being realistic, everyone sees themselves as a hero in this game, except for maybe 1 or 2. Chain saw himself as freeing the people of Solana. Binset saw herself as a hero to herself, freeing herself from the shackles of Solana. Levia never saw herself as a hero and still hasn't, but so I think we'll see the day where she does see herself as a hero. Hey, I just said it doesn't mean that, Rose. Gravy. Hey, Jose, it's going great. We're just talking about lore right now, man. It's going phenomenal, actually. Gravy sees himself. I want to say I also don't think Gravy has seen himself as a hero. Maybe he sees himself as a hero to his crew, and that's enough. But the point is, no one is the villain in their own story. No one realistically sees themselves as the villain. Maybe Bulgor. So that's why every hero can have the hero, even if technically they're not doing good things. Which makes me super excited for Dr. Mortimer, because he sees himself as a god more than a hero. Let's be honest here. That man is so self-important. He has such a martyr complex. His only goal in life right now is to have the Arachnids come home and kill him. That's it. And he's tired of waiting for them to come home and kill him, so he's going out to have them kill him. That's how I've read it. So I think it's really, really cool. And I'm so excited for the next few sets. Obviously, once Soul happens, and then once Paris happens, we'll know the next set. And we'll know then if we're going straight into a light set, or if we're going into another shadows, to something else. Extortion mechanic. Extortion mechanic? What mechanic is that? Cure pox, make silver. Yeah. I'll cure you, but I'll get money. I love that you can just do it at their end turn, so that way they get no value from the inertia if they played out their entire hand, or if they have. I wish it wasn't cure disease. I wish you could cure. First of all, I wish two things. I wish you could cure your own diseases. That would be awesome for no cost. You just don't get the silver for that. Yeah, Paris is so close. I'm so excited. I wish you could cure your own diseases because you have the medicine. And then I also wish that you could remove other things. I wish you could just, like, obviously be so broken to remove a ponder or a courage or something like that. Like, imagine, like, as an instant, you were able to remove a confidence. Where's my ancestor hero? That's essentially what Dr. Mortimer is. All right, so it has been 2 hours and 2 minutes. I appreciate each and every single one of you for staying here tonight, talking with me. I will be streaming again this Friday, let's just say that. And I will be having... That's true. Not curing himself does try... Well, it's not suicidality. It's he wants to be murdered. He wants to create something that kills him. He wants to have... Ironically, he wants to have what Dr. Frankenstein was so afraid about. Yeah, it's a weird combination. He's so interesting as a hero. He wants what Dr. Frankenstein was afraid to happen to him. Although, as we know, Dr. Frankenstein wasn't killed by the monster. Dr. Frankenstein was killed by his own fear of the monster. I mean, that's what Dr. Mortimer is, by the way. He's a metaphor for Frankenstein, without a doubt, at least in many, many ways. I cured your disease. That will be 1 series silver, but I already died. Fuck it, that's hilarious. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need a Marvel Mort. I'm gonna need a Marvel Mort so bad. I love that. I love that. All right, so stream Friday. There will most likely not be a video this Monday. There won't be a narration. There won't be a short. There won't be anything of that like. And the reason for that is I'm going to try and reach out to some people to get voices for the next video, because the next one is the main part of Dusk to Dawn. And I kind of want to make that like really cool. I want to have multiple voices for Prism, for Bolton, for everyone. And I have some people who I'm going to reach out to. I've talked to a bunch of people. If you're one of them, you already know. So expect a message in the next few days. Then I will be trying to get that done by next week. And then I think instead of doing a weekly narration video, I'm going to spend some more time to get them out nicer and be more proud of them, and do maybe every other week for now. If you have not seen my other content, because the only thing you've seen is my timeline video, check out my YouTube channel, where I do audio narrations of most of the Flesh and Blood lore stories, voices, artwork, soundtracks, all 9 yards. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun, and I've been doing it for 2.5 years, and we're all the way caught up to Dusk to Dawn and a little bit beyond. So that's been really cool. Other than that, I am going to log off. I am going to have a relaxing evening. I'm going to go watch some TV or something, maybe edit some shorts out of this, see what I can do. Other than that, take care of yourself, take care of the ones you love, and I'll see you on Friday. Bye.